All right. Hey everyone. Welcome to Bat Balla. So a lot of things have been happening over the past few hours. 24 hours have been really weird from the cricket point of view. Pakistan government has tweeted yesterday that they are gonna back out. They are not gonna play against India on 15th of February. No official confirmation from the Pakistan Cricket Board yet. ICC is awaiting a confirmation from their end, but they've already sort of made their intentions clear by tweeting last evening, early this morning, that uh, Pakistan board need to sort of rethink on this, and they have to ensure that whatever the decision which they will take might have some future repercussions, right? And so, Sulesh, I know we're gonna be very objective, very neutral about it, and we're gonna dissect it layer by layer, try to get into the heads of what ICC is doing, what PCB is trying to achieve here, what is the future of Pakistani cricket from here if they sort of decide to boycott or if they decide to make a U-turn, either way. But man, your initial thoughts on this circus which is going on?
No, it's very strange. I mean, I think the ICC, like you said, that ICC statement used a particular word. I think selective participation. This is very weird. I mean, how can you decide that I will not participate in one game but will participate in the tournament? Like I understand Bangladesh. Okay, you know what? We are not worried. We are worried about the safety. We can't play. We can't play. We're not playing in the World Cup. But what is this? I'll not play one match, but I'll play the rest of the World Cup. And how does it work, right? Like what if you have to encounter India in the next stage or encounter India in the finals? Will you boycott the entire tournament? And then why are you playing also then? So this whole selective participation is so weird, and I can't believe that the Pakistan government has made a statement, but the PCB has not made a statement. There's so much political crap going on. It's just so weird, man. I mean, this statement is so weird. I thought Pakistan will boycott it, the entire tournament, because Bangladesh is not playing, but suddenly coming out of the blue and saying that we won't play one match against India, I really don't know what they're achieving with this.
I mean, this is a side effect of when as you were discussing, when a politician is sort of leading the boat, all these things are bound to happen.
Mm.
But the counter side of, and I'm really surprised by the way their ex cricketers, their media, their armed janta has been reacting. See, ICC is gonna suffer loss without a doubt. India
Yeah,
Pakistan game is a very high stake game from the broadcasters, from the money point of view, and from the revenue point of view. No doubt there will be a huge loss for ICC without any if and but. Not no debates over there. But if Pakistan is thinking that it is only the ICC and the BCCI which will suffer the losses, I think they are in some Delulu world, I would say. Uh,
yeah,
and we must not forget that another politician is only sitting at the helm of ICC chair, right? And he's not gonna back down as well, as far as we know him. And ICC is gonna take a very hard stance. And my fear is that it might cost Pakistani cricket from the long term perspective. They might lose on a lot
yeah,
of things. They might suffer a lot of bilateral. If ICC decides to do certain things, and we all know that all other boards are gonna follow it, whether they like it or not.
yeah.
Probably Bangladesh would be the only exception, but who cares about Bangladesh anyway? So a lot of things which can go wrong for Pakistan cricket. But the problem over here is the way their media, their social media, their armed janta, their ex cricketers, they have been sort of ranting about things and all those things, right? I think again they are seeing it as a moral victory, uh, but it could go wrong in so many ways, for them.
Yeah, and you bring a very important point on revenue, right? Like, see, okay, let's look at objectively. Right? ICC tournament, let's say the revenue shared between all the teams. Now, who doesn't need the money? India doesn't need the money from ICC, a particular ICC tournament. I mean, we have our IPL. Same goes with Australia. Same goes with England. Revenue really doesn't matter. Okay, yes, like you said, it'll hit our corpus as well. But the teams that really matter, really depend upon ICC revenue is Pakistan, is Sri Lanka, is West Indies, is Bangladesh. Those are the teams who really need that money. And by doing this, you're removing the share of all those teams. It's not just you boycotting one particular match, right? Everybody is going to suffer now, and including your team, your players, your board, and the board of so many other teams who are going to lose out on this revenue. See, in India Park match, the revenue is not shared between only India and Park. It is shared between all the teams. And it's very unfortunate that Pakistan, without thinking through all this, had decided to make this call. Whatever said and done, this is the biggest match of the ICC tournament. India Pakistan is the biggest match. There were so many other ways you could have done a protest, a boycott, whatever done. You can wear black armbands. You could have done whatever you want to do, but this was just not the way, man. I mean, there's so much revenue loss. Forget India. I mean, like we can bear it. We know we can bear it, but cricket is a small sport, right? Very few countries play it, and a lot of those other countries depend upon revenue from ICC tournaments. Whatever said and done, Pakistan, by not playing this match, has put the revenue of jeopardy of so many other smaller teams who depend upon this, and very unfortunate to taken the call just for political reasons. Yeah.
I mean, the best way which Pakistan could have responded is by defeating India in the World Cup, right? I
Yeah.
mean, that's the way you should ideally play a sport, right? You want to prove a point,
Yeah.
play top tier cricket, play a top notch cricket, send across a message to the ICC, to the BCCI, to the other boards, English board, Australian board, that hey, we are no pushovers. We are here to stay. There
Yeah.
is a legacy behind Pakistani cricket. Okay, the last decade has been really hard for them, but again, having said that, there is no dearth of talent as such in the country. That would have been the ideal situation. We also had a game yesterday, Pakistan under 19 and India under 19. I'm not too sure if you watched that game. I
Yeah.
mean, that was one super weird game, super weird approach by Pakistani team over there as well. I don't know what they were trying to do. So if you are playing that kind of cricket, and then on top of that you are, showing these kind of tantrums, I think that is something which is really weird. Even from the, I know
Yeah.
we both will be slightly biased. When we are trying to, sort of analyze this, but keeping that bias aside, I think from the neutral, perspective as well, the quality of cricket which Pakistan has been playing for the last few years, and then on top of that, these kind of tantrums, I think this is gonna be costly for them. In Asia Cup, we all know. I think that I mean, we both were sort of the opinion that that handshake thing should not have happened, right? If you have gone to play the game of cricket, you should have been sort of handshake was not a big deal. I still don't support that theory that the way Indian team carried themselves. Uh, but again, they played right, and probably I was of the opinion that India should have boycotted the tournament, and we were in a situation where we
Yeah.
could have done that. But now with this tournament, with only a couple of weeks, only a week rather to left to sort of
Yeah.
start with the tournament, and when Pakistan is already playing all their games in Sri Lanka, there's no security concern, there's no other concern, all their demands were met. Suddenly, out of the blue, they are showering love for Bangladesh. I mean, make no mistake, there's no love between Pakistan and Bangladesh here. It's all political, and if Bangladesh or if the common people are not able to see there, that would be disappointing. But again, I mean, I literally don't have words on how to describe this one.
Yeah, no, and a double blow for Bangladesh, right? First of all, you lose out your own revenue for participation, and you lose on ICC revenue because Pakistan is boycotting the India-Pakistan match. I don't know what Bangladesh is going to get out of this particular boycott. But yeah, and like you mentioned, right? I mean, see, Pakistan is playing well actually. I think what the Australia series, they're leading 2-0, if I'm not wrong, Pakistan, Australia.
So they
So the
they
team,
whitewashed Australia.
wow, like that's crazy. So the team is actually playing well, and a team that's playing well, suddenly you put the whole thing in contention, right? They're now confused now. The players are not sure what's happening. The government is saying you will not play. The board has not announced anything about it yet. The captain also is not really sure what's happening. So it's forget the India Pakistan match, right? You're going to win the World Cup, right? You want to play. You're playing to win the World Cup. You're not playing to make a political statement. I mean, if you're doing that, then it's really sad. See, the players are not doing for that, right? The government, the board will be doing that, but players want to come out and win the tournament. If you're not playing that match, you're forfeiting 2 points. That's a big blow already. On top of that, look at the morale, right? The players are not even sure what's happening. Here they're playing so well at one side, and on the other side, you're like, shit, we're not even sure they're going to play all matches in the tournament, and that's really very what do you call demotivating for the players also. And I think just in general, like I think like you mentioned, right? I think a point has to be taken about this. This is not about vote bank politics or keeping your crowd or your janta happy, right? I think somebody asked Mitchell Marsh also, oh, India's not, oh, Bangladesh is not traveling India. What about you guys? Are you scared of traveling India? Mitchell Marsh said, look, we have no problem playing India, and we are happy to, we are focused on the World Cup. That's all we're thinking about. We are not looking about anything else. That's the approach Pakistan should have. Suddenly politicizing the whole thing, bringing the government involved, you're just creating so much confusion in the players also, right? And that's not the way a team should be approaching what do you call such a premier tournament, which happens once in 2 years. You want to win, you want to play well. It's happening in the subcontinent. Pakistan are playing well, a good cricket, and this is just not the way you should be approaching such a big tournament.
Yep, yep. And a lot of comparisons have been going on social media with respect to the boycott, which England did in 2003 World Cup. New Zealand, I think, also did not travel to Zimbabwe and Kenya, right? They fortified their points, and as a result, Kenya
Ah,
were in the semis of that particular World Cup.
yeah.
See that. two situations are entirely different. That was a completely security call, right? Wherein
Mm.
there were already concerns even before the start of the World Cup, where England said, "Hey, we're not cool in traveling these countries because we feel that that is not safe for our players and our administrators." Makes sense. Okay, not an ideal scenario, but still you have some logic behind it, right? Similarly for Bangladesh, not a big fan of what Bangladesh did, but again at the same time they had some theory behind it that India is not safe for them at this point of time. We all know that was kind of a tit for tat, which they did for
Yeah.
Mustafizur Rahman getting released from KKR. But still, at least they had a theory. With Pakistan, there is no theory, man. I mean, if India is an enemy nation, you played that Asia Cup with India. You played three games. You lost all the three games. That's a different matter. But you played all the three games, and that was closer to the conflict which we had with them. Back in May. Now
Yeah.
suddenly after 4 months nothing changed. It's just purely political. You're trying to leverage a situation. We're trying to create a scenario where you are trying to leverage that entire Bangladesh thing, right? So make no mistake, please don't compare it with the 1993 Asia Cup or with the 2003 boycott of England, or rather England not traveling to Zimbabwe and Kenya. So I'll keep them, these two instances, separately. uh, so Sulesh, I think I'm not too sure what's gonna happen next. Two possibilities. They might make a U-turn. Again, board might have a discussion with the government. Say there could be some long-term repercussions. I highly doubt that, because I'm sure they would have thought through that entire scenario, which might come up, on their face post this, boycott. What next for Pakistan cricket? What exactly can go wrong with them? What do you think ICC would be doing after this? I'm sure ICC is gonna take some strict actions without a doubt. But what could go wrong for them now?
No, the worst case scenario, I think, is banning Pakistan cricket, right? And that has happened. I mean, ICC has banned USA cricket for corruption charges. They've banned other teams as well for whatever reasons. And this, I mean, here you're jeopardizing the entire tournament. You're jeopardizing the revenue of ICC, and for a last minute knee jerk reaction, which is completely political. So I mean, it is really possible that ICC decides that, you know what, until you sort out. See, like if you look at even FIFA, right? If or the Olympic Association, if they feel that decisions are being made because which are completely political, and the political what do you call establishments are influencing sporting decisions, they decide to ban those countries. It's very common. It's happened in across all sporting boards. And if the ICC feels that that's happening in Pakistan and that's jeopardizing tournaments, then they'll just ban them, and they'll say until unless you have a new board in place which is completely neutral, you are banned from cricket. And that's highly possible. And if that happens, then I don't know, man. I mean, there's a country that's already struggling financially. I mean, and in cricket, that's probably the only sport left, right? Like we used to discuss earlier, they were champions in squash, they were champions in hockey once upon a time. Those sports are all dead now in Pakistan. Cricket is probably the last sport where they have some sort of recognition, in recognition in terms of how they perform. But if this sport also is gone and they become pariah for purely political reasons, not even security, not even any other reasons, and it's just really sad. Otherwise, I mean, I really hope there's still time. Pakistan sort of says that, okay, we got pressurized by the ICC, or what, we're deciding to come back, whatever reasons. But I hope that happens. But if they decide not to do it and they continue, another question is what happens, right? Let's say you win this match is over, but you qualify for the next stages. Do you forfeit again India matches? Do you forfeit the finals? So a lot of questions, but yeah, I mean, I just hope they take a U-turn and come back. Otherwise, it's really going to be bad for their future.
Interesting point, Suresh, because I'm not too sure if completely banning the board might be on the table at this point of time, but possibly they might be barred, I don't know, from the tournament, or maybe their league might suffer a lot, wherein the foreign players who come and play PSL might not get the NOCs from their respective boards. uh, Pakistan could suffer heavy revenue loss, because obviously ICC will block, or rather plug, that particular stream which is coming from the ICC to the Pakistani cricket board, right? That's going to happen for sure. A lot of bilaterals. Again, Pakistan has again started to host a lot of countries. England has traveled, Australia has traveled over the past 3 4 years. So cricket has started to come back. They hosted Champions Trophy as well. Again, I think we have a 28 or 2029 Women's World Cup scheduled in Pakistan as well. All those things might go wrong, and they might get stripped of that hosting rights as well. See, in politics, one thing is very very obvious and very clear: जिसकी पावर है उसी की चलती है. You like it or
Mhm.
not like it, doesn't matter.
Yeah,
India is the
unfortunate, but yeah.
powerhouse. no matter how much your awam comes on social media and comments ICC equal to BCCI equal to Indian Comedy Council or whatever shit you can write on the social media, it doesn't matter. It's India is calling the shots, who is taking the shots, and you clearly saw that with the Bangladesh voting as well. So make no mistake, India will ensure that your cricket is gonna suffer. And if you're not aware, if you're not thinking in that direction, probably you are making a fool of yourself and your awam as well, right? Which would be really unfair for a very hardcore cricket fan base. Pakistan's got some really, really
Yeah.
great cricket fan base. I mean, they've still got the talent, I believe. Probably the system and corruption, whatever biasness is there in the system, probably that is what is stopping them from performing at the highest level. But make no mistake, they've got a lot of talent in their heart. But again, at the same time, ये problem 90s में भी थी. I still remember Wasim Akram's book where he clearly mentioned what went wrong for them in that 99 World Cup final against Australia. Even before the game started, there was some politicians or some officials who
Yeah.
came and said कोई fixing नहीं करेगा and all those things nonsense some happened. I think वही वही उनका चल रहा है for the last 30-40 years. And this could be a very very hard. I won't use the word death nail, but this will take their cricket like few decades back without a doubt.
Yeah, and you brought up a very good point, right? I mean, what's the best way to protest, right? You come and play. Now, like, see, if I'm a neutral fan, right? I mean, and I've seen that, look, you have lost the last three matches in the Asia Cup against India. You're probably scared to play India. I mean, that's the only reason why I can think of why would you boycott this. Like, you're going to get thrashed again. And if you get thrashed again, the same questions will come up from your public. The same questions will come up from your critics. They'll be like, what's the point playing India? And really, I mean, I think this call was taken probably because, you know what, anyway, you're going to play and lose. Might as well boycott it and avoid that particular loss. If whatever happens later on stages, we'll see. But this looks like a face-saving measure more than some political statement. Like, oh, we are scared. We'll probably lose this, and let's avoid that.
That's a very regressive thing to sort of even. I mean, that's just a hypothesis. But again, if it is
No,
anywhere
you
close
can
to the
make
reality,
that statement, right? Yeah, you can make that statement, right? I mean, as an Indian, I can make that statement. Yeah,
yeah, there's this movie na Chak De India. Uska bahut favorite. मतलब this one of my favorites, right? Wherein there's during the practice sessions, there are a lot of fights which happens between amongst the players
yeah,
when Shahrukh Khan joins as a coach. तो एक किसी प्लेयर को बोलता है ना पहले अपना गेम बाकी लोगों से ऊपर करो फिर आवाज ऊंची करो.
uh,
So I think that's a very apt thing, and probably Pakistan can sort of take a clue from that particular movie. Game अच्छा करो भाई.
yeah,
Perform at the highest level. Their under 19 team is super good. But the way they performed yesterday was embarrassing to say the least.
yeah.
Shut
No,
the
that's a
shut the outdoor
yeah,
noise. Why your performance with your
exactly.
performance, right? Not like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, that outside noise is creeping into all aspects of the decision making, into all aspects of their playing, and that's really bad. I mean, you look at Salman Aga, right? Yesterday he was asked. There was nothing about questions about the performance against Australia. Every question was about the boycott against India. And imagine the captain, right? The poor guy is focused completely on the tournament, and all the questions are coming about some stupid decision which he was not even a part of. So yeah, it's just noise,
I mean,
man. I mean, shut the
obviously,
noise.
yeah, obviously, if I'm the Pakistani captain, I my entire focus should be on how I can beat India.
Yeah,
I would be aware that they are the superior team.
yeah,
But we need to figure out a way to sort of perform against those folks, right? And clearly they will be distracted, even if they go on and now play the game against India. If we don't know that a lot of things can happen overnight here. This is still a developing kind of story, so we don't know. But अगर वो जाते भी हैं तो I think it's not a very very ideal situation or very ideal kind of mahal for the captain or the players.
yeah, and I mean, just go ahead, man. Don't like you said, right? Like it's India is the Indian what do you call it? Former secretary is ICC president. Some battles don't fight it in the field, right? That's the best way. It's an equal opportunity for both you and India. Go ahead, do well. I mean, yesterday, like you said, like the Pakistan under 19 team, yeah, probably they were focusing more on beating India than the whole target which they were supposed to qualify. That they didn't get both. So that is very sad. But I think here at least you have an opportunity to play, show that you can beat India, put your best foot forward. But unfortunately, that you are taking a decision where you want to be distracted and make calls based on political sidings. It's sad.
Cool. I think let's hope for the best, man. A lot of still a few days to go. A lot of things can happen. We still are waiting official confirmation from their board. A lot of questions again. If they decide to boycott this league game, what will happen if they sort of come face to face again in the semis or the finals, or
Yeah.
if anything of that sorts have come into the picture. So let's hope the sanity prevails, but you never know. So we'll be in touch. We'll closely monitor the story, and Suresh probably will get in touch again once we have got some more updates. On this particular story.
Yeah, yeah, looking forward, and probably let's do like a preview of the World Cup also. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, sure. Let's plan it in a couple of days. Maybe.
sure. Yeah,
Cool,
yes,
man. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you.
yeah.
Good night.
See you. Bye. Good night.